Well, it's April 29, 2025. I'm Todd Dunn. Today I am aboard my Allied Princess 36 Seaquestor, working on the engine a little bit. I don't have much to do, but what I have to do is a little bit involved in that where I have to go is a difficult spot. And it wouldn't be difficult except that my right leg still isn't happy. I have not yet had my appointment with the pain management people, so still hurts, and it does restrict me a little bit. Okay, what I'm going to be doing is crawling in on the starboard side of the engine to work on the back of the engine on the heat exchanger. The heat exchanger has a leak somewhere on the raw water side. I've already checked out everything on the port side. I checked all the hose connections and the end cap, and everything was fine there. And I did crawl in a few days ago and work on the starboard side a little bit. The end cap on the heat exchanger is fine, and what I need to do now is just check a couple of hose clamps, and I'm also going to change out the zinc on the heat exchanger just because it's due. And right next to the zinc is where I think the leak is. There is a drain fitting in there, and when I reached in a couple days ago, it was wet. So I think that the leak is there, that drain fitting has either vibrated open a little bit, it's just what's called a petcock, or it is starting to fail and needs to be replaced. So at any rate, what I'm going to do is see if I can't get it out of there. And in the worst case, I'm not going to put a new drain fitting in there, because in the 30 years I've owned this boat, I have never had to drain the heat exchanger that way. So I'll just put a plug in if it turns out that that's the problem. So anyway, the plan today is crawl back in and work on the aft side of the engine, starboard side. Okay, well, there's the engine over there. And what I have done to make access to that aft side and on the starboard side better is I have torn apart the galley cabinet so that I can get in there physically without too much trouble. And I can see what I'm doing and just reach in and back out the two fittings, put the new zinc in, and see what the condition of that petcock fitting is, and hopefully it'll come out of there easily. I believe I have the correct wrenches with me to take it out. So I'm going to climb in there and see what I can do. Since I'm going to be working in the back of the engine, there's no way I can film it, so I'll come back after I do what needs to be done. Well, bit of a scramble. It's one of those spots where you can see it or you can touch it, but not both, unless you get into a really awkward position, which I did manage to do. And I pulled the zinc out and put the new one in. And now I have to try and get that petcock fitting off. It's supposed to be 1-inch NPT where it screws into the heat exchanger. So I'm going to have to go over and buy myself a 1/8 inch NPT plug. I don't think I have the right wrench. The one I have seems too big, and I have to use an open-end wrench to get the thing out of there because of the T-fitting on the petcock. I cannot get a socket on it. If I could, I'd have plenty of sockets that would fit, but I do not have the right size open-end wrench here, so I'm going to have to go get one. I thought I had brought the right one. I thought it would be a 1/2 inch, but it isn't. It's probably a 7/16. So anyway, I'm going to go pick up a new plug to replace that petcock fitting so that it won't leak. and hopefully that will do the job. I tried to turn it to see if I could, tighten it up or anything, but it doesn't want to turn. So anyway, next step, go get the appropriate wrench and crawl back in there and back that thing out. Shouldn't take much. The biggest limitation is that because of all the other stuff in there, I can only get like a 1/16 of a turn on the fitting at one time with the wrench, so before I have to reposition the wrench. So, that's what happens. It just takes a while. I probably had to use the ratchet 15 times before the zinc fitting loosened up enough for it to be, able to be finished by hand. So anyway, new zinc is in. That was the big thing I wanted to do, and the other is to check this for leaks, which I shot a little video of the area in there just by sliding the camera all the way back in there with its light on it and rotating it around, so that hopefully I can see any place that might be leaking in the video of that. I'll have to wait till I get home because the screen on this camera is too small to see detail. But once I get home, I can download the video and take a look at it. So that's where I am right now. I'm going to go on over to the chandlery and see if I can buy a 1/8 inch NPT bronze or brass plug to replace this petcock fitting with. They supposedly have them. It's just a matter of going over there. So that's the next step. When I get that finished, come back and I'll bring back some more wrenches and hopefully get that fitting out of there so that I can replace it with a plug. Well, that was a task. The difficulty was getting in there and getting into a position where I could both see and feel what I was doing so I could get the wrenches on the fittings. And I replaced the petcock, which I'll show you in a second, with just a plug. And because the heat exchanger body is copper, I put a brass plug in. I had to leave some zinc in it to make sure it wouldn't corrode. But anyway, it's in there now. And the hardest part was just reaching it and getting the wrench on it, because it's a really tight spot to work in and I couldn't see it very well. If I hadn't brought my camera with the light, I couldn't have seen it at all. I would have had to go by touch, which would have made it much more difficult. And the bionic knee doesn't like getting up and down from the floor. So every time I had to move, it stressed my leg a little, and that was very difficult. Anyway, let's take a look at this petcock. Okay, this is it. This is what I replaced. It's nothing fancy, just a little petcock. And it's completely frozen, and it is leaking a little bit. I put some water in it, and it dripped through. And so, yeah, that was my leak. So this guy has been replaced with just a plug because I've never used this. It's, as I said, completely frozen. It's been in there for over 50 years. So I was probably put in 72, so 53 years. And I doubt it's ever been opened. I put it in a wrench and tried to turn it, and I can't. So I'll take it home and slap it in the vise and see if I can turn it, but I have a feeling it's not going to move at all. So that was that. That's what I think was leaking, and it appears to have been leaking around the shaft. So, piece of antique hardware. So anyway, that little project is done. I still have to go in there one more time. I got a couple hose clamps to check that I can only reach from in there. Then I have to go in the cockpit locker and check a couple more. But my bionic leg is telling me do that tomorrow. So I'm going to go home and call it a day today. And it's also pretty grubby back there, and I have to be very careful when I come back out not to grab any upholstery when my hands are filthy from working on the back of the engine. So hopefully that solves the leak problem that I had on the raw water side of my heat exchanger. As I said, I only have two hose clamps left to check, and then we'll be 100% sure. So thanks for watching, and another day in the saga of working on my 1973 Allied Princess 36. Thanks for watching.